Do you ever wonder why one species eat only certain species and not others? Or did you ever become curious about relationship between plants and animals or even with nature? Hi, my name is Jay from TAMF Quest. Today, I'd like to talk to you about food chain in ecosystem. I think this presentation will cost about 11 to 12 minutes. So let's get started. This is the things that we will cover. First of all, I'll introduce the definition and inventor of the term food chain. Then I'll introduce about food pyramid ranks and their roles in nature. I will continue by importance of learning food chain. So in other words, why we have to learn food chain. Finally, we will learn what is different between food chain and food web and see 3 minutes video. So what is the scientific meaning that scientists are saying? It means the sequence of living organisms in a community
Community, community, community.
in which one organism consumes another organism to transfer food energy. For example, grass is eaten by grasshopper, grasshopper is eaten by a frog, and frog is eaten by a snake. Then this sequence of eating is called food chain. The inventor of the term food chain was happened in 10th century in Arabic places. It was firstly introduced by a scientist and also by a philosopher called Al-Jahiz. But until 1926 in United Kingdom, it was not a very popular topic to say. But in 1927, an Englishman called Charles Elton popularized food chain by writing a famous book. And because that happens, and starting from that time, many scientists are arguing and debating about the fact of food chain. So there is 4 ranks in food pyramid. The lowest rank is producer. Producer is called as autotrophs too.
Autotroph, autotroph, autotroph.
They are the only creature to make their own energy, and they are mainly plants or one-celled organisms, or maybe we can just say every organism can be in the producer level. And second level is primary consumer. They eat producers, which means that they only eat plants or organisms. So their another name is called herbivore. And main examples of this rank is deers, turtles, kangaroos, and etc.
etc., etc., etc.
Third rank is secondary consumer, or we can say as carnivores. These consumers eat primary consumers, which means that they only eat meat and no plants. Main examples for these consumers is lions, tigers, cheetahs, and any predators can be in the ecosystem life. And lastly, there is tertiary consumers.
Tertiary, tertiary, tertiary.
For this rank, they could be they could be carnivores or omnivores, but the main part of the tertiary consumer is mainly with humans.
Tertiary, tertiary.
And they eat every types of food, such as they eat producer, they eat primary consumer, and they even eat secondary consumer. So literally, they just eat everything. But in here, we can have a question. We know that food pyramid ranks, and we know that who invented this term and what this term means. But why we have to study food chain? I guess so because we have 4 benefits when we study it. First is about movement of energy between some animals and plants, and also prey and predators. So you can have better knowledge about the ecosystem and natural things. Second is that you can determine animals' level of strong and not weak, not strong. If we see a pyramid as on the top of the picture, top carnivores such as humans and predators, we can say that they are much more stronger than some producers such as plants, grass, or flowers. And thirdly, maybe this is the most important benefit for us, but I guess we can be thankful for plants. As the pyramid again, producers are the lowest part, and they are the only creature to make the energy. Other ranks such as herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and humans, and even decomposers, they cannot make any energy by themselves. They have to eat or get something out of their body, such as eating some bad matters or just hunting for other animals. But because of this, we know that plants is the foundation of the earth and also for the earth's ecosystem. So if this happens, we can say that we can preserve nature more better. Last one is that we can have better knowledge for ecosystem, and this is really similar with first one. But I want to highlight that part, so I just said again. Lastly, it is the difference between food chain and web. I think we already know this because we studied in the society class, but for food chain, they have only one path of eating, such as next of the such as the picture. And because of this, it is not very accurate for just describing whole ecosystem because it is really simplified. And also, it always begins with plants and always starts with animals, and that also makes food chain more worse. And if one animal is extincted in the
Extinct. Extinct. Extinct.
food chain, and because there is no alternative way,
Alternative. Alternative. Alternative.
every species of that food chain, I mean, belongs to food chain, is just every aspects of those animals die. For food web, it is group of food chains. So as you can see, there's a lot of food chains in the food web. And also there is many different paths of connection between two animals or two plants or even an animal and a plant. And because of these reasons, it is much more accurate than food chain because it is more complex and we can understand that although one animal extinct, they always have alternative prey as the real world do. Let's see 3-minute video. So today's last activity is 3 quizzes. First question is who invented the term food chain? The answer is Arab scientist and philosopher Al-Zahid. Second question is say 4 levels of food chain.
Producer, first consumer. I'm just like delivering the message from Yuna. Second consumer.
Last question is why food web is more accurate than food chain. It is because food web is more complex than food chain and it is more similar with real ecosystem. Thank you for listening.